Hello everyone, it's Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, and welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Video. We are getting a bunch of card reveals in the last few days, and in today's video we are going to be going over an archetype that I did not think we were going to get support for anytime soon, but I'm happy to be proven wrong, and that is Psychics and Divines archetype, or Sayer in the dub, of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Now, I will be honest, there's not many anime references here. A lot of these are retrains of cards that he used in the 5Ds anime. Divine, while being one of the most, I think, sinister villains maybe in all of Yu-Gi-Oh!, did not really duel all that much. I remember he dueled Leo, and I think he dueled Carly twice. He definitely dueled Carly twice. I'm not sure if those were both fully shown on screen. I think only the second one was. So we didn't really get to see Divine duel all that much. But, man, again, every time we get cards like this, like new cards for an anime deck, if you will, I always just wish we had some way of seeing that character play these new cards in an OVA or in a new series, but unfortunately, I don't think that will ever happen. So, that being said, we are just going to jump into it, and these are going to be in the Duelists Advanced set. We actually just got Monarch support for this set not too long ago, which is pretty cool, and now we're getting some cool retrains for Psychic, and we're going to start with Serene Psychic Girl, which is a level 2 tuner monster. Both effects are once per turn. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can banish a card from your hand, and if you do, special summon one level 4 or lower monster from your deck except this card. You can also not special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except psychic monsters. You can also target face-up monsters on the field that have a level up to the number of psychic monsters you control. Increase their levels by 1 until the end of this turn. So again, this deck is all about synchro summoning. It's a 5Ds era deck, and so obviously it's going to be mostly synchros, so being able to control levels is really good. And this card is a retrain of Esper Girl and Serene Psychic Witch. It's very similar in naming structure to that monster. The next one we are getting is Hushed Psychic Minister, which is a level 3 effect monster. It's got that great effect. If you control a psychic monster other than this monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. That special summoning from the hand is such a good effect, because it allows you to more easily get into your synchro plays. In case another effect gets like Ash Blossomed or negated, you have another route to go potentially in order to get a monster on the field so you can synchro summon. And then the second effect, you can banish this card and one other psychic monster from your graveyard, then target one other face-up monster on the field, banish it until the end phase. And as for this card, this is a retrained counterpart of Mental Seeker, and the naming structure is very similar to Hushed Psychic Cleric. So again, there's a lot of these cards that have retrains to the older cards, but there's not as many references to 5Ds and to Divine himself. We're getting another tuner monster in Mind Procedure. If this card is special summoned by a monster effect or normal summoned, you can pay 2,000 life points to add one teleport, normal, or quick play spell from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If this card you control would be used as material for the synchro summon of a psychic monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. So this is a tuner and non-tuner at the same time, which is really, really useful. If this card is banished, pay 1,000 life points and special summon it. So pretty good effect there, especially because, remember, you can banish this card with the second card we just went over, Hushed Psychic Minister, and then pay 1,000 life points to special summon it back to the field. So you got a lot of options there. And then as for this card, I believe this is a retrain of Mind Protector. But yeah, those are the three new main deck monsters we're getting. And then we are getting a fusion. It's not just synchros here. We are getting a level 11 fusion, Absolute Axon Kicker. You need one Psychic Synchro monster and one Synchro monster. Must first be fusion summoned. You can only use the third effect once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you can pay 2,000 life points, banish all face-up cards your opponent controls. It cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you can banish it to special summon one level 10 Psychic Fusion monster from your extra deck. This is treated as a fusion summon, so obviously the effect there is pretty insane. You can banish all face-up cards your opponent controls, and it's got protection from card effects, and of course it's got 3,400 attack, so it's going to be tough for your opponent to beat over. That being said, it's pretty tough to get out because you need to fuse a psychic synchro monster and another synchro monster. So you need to fuse 2 synchro monsters in order to get it. But if you can go into this play, if you feel it's worth it, you get a very, very strong fusion monster in Absolute Axon Kicker. And this is a retrain of the level 10 fusion monster, Ultimate Axon Kicker. And I imagine this is the monster you would probably summon if you were going to use that third effect, if this card was in the graveyard. We are also getting 3, count them, 3 new psychic monsters, starting with Silent Psychic Magician, generic monster here, 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuners. First effect is once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target 1 level 4 or lower psychic monster in your graveyard, special summon it, or banishment, special summon it, then increase its level by 1. Also, you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn except psychic monsters. If this card would be used as a synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner. So again, we get another card that is treated as a tuner or non-tuner, and this is the synchro version of the extra deck monster Silent Psychic Wizard, which was not actually in the anime of 5Ds, but Divine had this card in his deck in the Arc 5 Tag Force Special video game. The second synchro we are getting, Thought Cross Arc Fiend. Thought Ruler Arc Fiend, of course, is one of the more notable, I think, psychic synchro monsters. Well, now we're getting Thought Cross Arc Fiend. 1 psychic tuner and 1 or more non-tuners. Each affects once per turn. During the main phase is a quick effect. Target 1 of your banished level 7 or lower psychic monsters. Special summon it. During the battle phase, you can tribute 1 other monster. Gain life points equal to its original attack. And if you do, this card gains that much attack until the end of this turn. The gaining life point effect is pretty useful because you're paying a lot of life points in order to activate the effects of psychic monsters. So any chance to get more life points so you can maybe activate more effects down the road is always going to be helpful. Wish this monster had maybe some sort of protection. And I think the monster artwork looks really cool. Love the blue on the white there. And then the final synchro we're getting is Psychic Blaster MK2. Materials, 1 psychic tuner and 1 or more non-psychic tuners. You can target 1 banished monster, special summon it to field. During the main phase is a quick effect. You can banish 1 monster from your grave, target 1 other face-up monster on the field, banish it, then gain life points equal to the banished monster's original attack. So again, it's a life point increasing effect, but no effect there that gives it protection, very similar to the other psychic monster. So unfortunately, you're not getting any protection with these psychic cards, but you know, what are you going to do? They're big beaters, and I think the play would probably be to try to go into that Absolute Axon Kicker, because that thing is just really, really good. Of course, the cost is high, but it seems really good. Then we're getting 2 quick play spells. Parallel Teleport. You can only activate 1 card with this names per turn. You cannot special summon this turn except psychic monsters. Tribute 1 psychic monster that has a level. Special summon 1 level 7 or lower psychic from your deck or extra deck. Then if those monsters' original levels are different, you lose life points equal to the difference times 1,000. So if you special summon a level 7 monster and a level 4 monster, I believe you would lose 3,000 life points. So you got to be a little careful with that card, but the artwork is really, really cool. I've always loved the artwork for these psychic cards. And then we are getting a Psychic Fusion, Teleport Fusion, which is a quick play spell, meaning, again, both of these spells you can activate during your opponent's turn. During the main phase, Fusion summon 1 psychic monster from your extra deck by banishing psychic monsters from your field and or graveyard. That's huge, because if you have a synchro in the graveyard, you can still potentially get into Ultimate Axon Kicker. And then if your face-up psychic monster special summoned from the extra deck is destroyed by battle or card effect, banish this card from your grave, target 1 of your banished psychic monsters, special summon it. So it's got a nice graveyard effect as well. I feel like the fusion play is really, really good. Absolute Axon Kicker, my apologies. I know I said Ultimate Axon Kicker. I mean, you could go into that if you wanted to, because that fusion monster is what's going to give you protection, and it's what's going to really just nuke your opponent's board. But really cool stuff here, guys. I love the artwork of Absolute Axon and of Thought Cross Arcfiend. I love green on the fusion background. It reminds me a little bit of Odd Eye's Vortex Dragon, which is like my favorite Odd Eyes monster. Wish Yugioh used that in the anime, and I think it would have been cool if Divine used any of these cards. Obviously not possible because they came out about 15 years after Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds came to an end. But, you know, it's cool that we are seeing more support here again for an old 5Ds deck. And I know a lot of people love Psychics, and I feel like because Divine was certainly more of a minor antagonist and did not duel all that often, I feel like most people probably don't even really consider Psychics an anime deck per se. So, you know, in general, whether you liked Divine's deck or you just like playing as Psychics, it's really cool that we are getting some Psychic support in the year 2025. But guys, let me know what you think of this new support, and let me know if there are any like anime references that I missed, because I just really could not find any at all that reference like Divine or a moment in 5Ds. And again, that's probably because this archetype is not often associated with Divine and 5Ds necessarily, especially considering that character got a very unceremonious write-off from the series, and it always felt like he never really had a proper conclusion, and they kind of just wanted to move on from his character, which, you know, makes sense because he did some pretty messed up things. But guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll talk to you in the comments, and I hope you have an amazing day. Take care, guys.